How are you, dear colleagues? Welcome once again to one of our live learning experiences. It's a great pleasure to have you with us. I am particularly delighted to have our colleagues from PSI joining us in this exciting exercise. This music that we put at the beginning it gives us kind of hope. And if you remember, can someone explain to the mayor of Ouagadougou how to do this? Please, team, just approach him directly. So I was saying that music is, it's from the movie Forrest Gump, and Forrest Gump was saying, you all remember that life is like a box of chocolates. Well, the chocolate that we are having to digest for these last months is a very surprising one with a very special taste. Is one that is allowing us this new context to realize that how deep many of our gaps, of the fragilities that we had identified are embedded in our societies. And the topic that we're going to be dealing with today is particularly important, and I will share with you a frustration that I have in the international debate about how little we talk about public service delivery. Very little. I mean, we are talking about the sanitary needs. We are talking about all spheres of government, but actually local public service delivery, which is core to underpin the sanitary measures, and that is marking our day-to-day life everywhere, no matter our context, whether they are good or bad, whether they have a deficit or not. Whether they are well managed or not, they really define how we live, and we don't really talk about them. And we even talk less about the people behind those services, so the actual workers. And this is something that we very strongly feel needs to change. And in order to change that, we need this partnership between the workers' organization, the trade unions, and the local and regional governments. We need to make clear how important this service delivery is going to be for the aftermath of the pandemic, how critical our service delivery is being during the pandemic, but also how much in jeopardy the sustainability of this public service delivery can be after this. So this is why we decided to have this meeting together. We all know the situation of service delivery in the world. It is under-resourced, with not well-paid workers, with very little recognition for the critical role that they are playing. And very often, it is not in the picture of the recovery plans. Well, this time, it needs to be different. And that's what we are hoping that we can put together as recommendation after this session. We are working on a joint statement with PSI, but we really hope to hear from all of you on what are the critical steps and the critical asks that we need to do to the national governments, the international community. We will also need to look at ourselves, and I am standing here before you as United Cities and local governments. You know, we are the work providers. This is what I represent. I mean, if there would be a union, UCLG would be that union for local and regional governments. And the relations between the workers and the work providers are not always easy. So this is not an easy conversation, oftentimes, but it is a very critical conversation. So I would like to stop here and open the floor to the excellent partners that we have to run us through their perspective of things. we really hope that we can, in the coming weeks and months, really build the international case together around our advocacy measures to ensure that what we have always said about local service provision within the context of the Sustainable Development Goals is now also taken into account in the post-COVID era. You will be hearing more from me along the session, but allow me now to just go to the other speakers of this opening session. And I would like to give the floor to Andre Dicus, Chief Urban Basic Service Section, Global Solution Division, and Urban Practices Branch of our partner, UN Habitat. The floor is yours.